What is going on, fight fans? My name is Jake Littman, and I am back here on Combat Sports today with the now 3-0 undefeated LFA prospect, Elias Rodriguez. Elias, how are we doing today? I know you just came off a big win.
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Just been celebrating a little too hard with the food. I like food, so I've been eating a lot, but other than that, everything's good. Feeling good.
What are we munching on?
I made some pastelitos, de
Ooh.
guayaba y queso. So it's like a Cuban thing. I used to work at a Cuban restaurant, and they used to be my favorite, man. Every time I went to Florida, they used to be my favorite. So I figured out how to make them. So I've eaten way too many of those recently.
What part of Florida did you get them from?
Miami.
Very nice. I'm down the road in Orlando, so maybe I'll have to go try it out one day.
Oh yeah,
So.
for sure.
But yeah, Orlando, Miami, Florida, it's an interesting world here. I know you're in an interesting world yourself over there in Colorado, and on LFA 219, you entered a different world altogether.
Yeah.
Basically, your neighbor's backyard. I mean, or your opponent's backyard. He's kind of like the neighbor. I mean, he's from Alabama. You're fighting in Tennessee. It definitely wasn't home territory for you. How did it feel going into enemy territory on your first ever main card bout with the LFA?
It was cool. I didn't expect to be on the main card. It was like nice. I don't really, to me, it's like it's not nothing too crazy. I don't really let too much stuff get to my head. I know when I walked out though, I figured because he lived in Alabama, he was gonna have some fans out there. But they started cheering for him, and I was like, wow, this guy's got a lot more people than I thought. But it'd be the same case if, when I fought in Denver for my debut, a lot of people there for me. So it, I didn't really let it get to my head, but it was definitely funny that there was a lot of people there for him, and I was like, "Oh, we got a good crowd. We're about to have a good fight." So it just makes it better on my part. I love that.
Absolutely. It turned some of his fans into your fans. And I know for you, it wasn't your first time fighting a 2-0 fighter. Your debut was also against a guy that was 2-0. For you, I know you said you didn't expect to be on the main card, but was there some level of added pressure, undefeated prospect versus undefeated prospect main card? I mean, was there any pressure or does that not phase you?
Nah, I didn't feel any pressure. It's a fight. You got to go fight the guy. Everybody's human. I mean, I'm human, so it's. I train with a lot of really good guys. I have, even though I'm 3-0 now, but I have a lot of experience in the gym with really good guys. So when I go out and fight an undefeated prospect, like I'm the prospect. I'll take your O away from you, and this is my show. You know what I mean? So no pressure. Cory helps a lot with that also.
Well, that was going to be a question for later, but since you bring it up, obviously Cory Sandhagen's in your corner.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing hidden about that, right? They call you his protege. Obviously, he's a heck of a fighter. He just put on one heck of a performance in a UFC main event for the title. Just talk to me a little bit about Cory's influence on you and how that gets you, so locked in and ready for your fights.
Yeah, it's inspiring watching Cory. He's a very inspiring guy. He's a very weird guy, but I love him to death. He's awesome. He's helped me immensely, technically, and mentally, which I think is more important. It's pretty easy to go into a fight, and I have already dealt with all the demons. He's taught me how to deal with that throughout camp. Whether it's a short camp or a long camp, and he's just been super helpful. I mean, from the jump, I met him when I was 14, and I don't really know why he took me under his wing, to be honest with you, but yeah, I met him and I just been watching him go up, and he's been the same guy the entire time. I mean, he's always been just a great, super genuine like guy, and it's really nice to watch somebody like that because I've seen other people start to make names for themselves in the gym, and it starts to kind of go to their head a little bit. So it's nice to see Cory just be Cory through and through.
Always his authentic self, and I'm sure that wears off on everybody in the gym. I'm sure
Yeah,
it's a tight-knit community, and everybody kind of adds on to the party with him. So I'm sure it's a fun time in the gym, and I'm sure it pushes you every single day. Talk to me a little bit about the physical part of working with Cory every day, because I know that pushes you not just mentally, physically, but also, I mean, when we're talking fighting, I mean, that's going to be what gets you probably in shape better than anything else. So talk to me about how working with Cory in the cage and actually physically in the gym day to day, how does that impact you?
yeah, that guy has freaking crazy cardio, man. He like never gets tired. Even when he looks like maybe he's a little tired, he just doesn't care and keeps going. And then that means I have to keep going also because I'm not trying to get my ass kicked by Cory today. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, this is what we're doing. It doesn't matter if you're tired and then that. it's a physical thing, obviously getting in shape and all that, but mentally also, it's like nobody cares if you're tired. Like you're gonna get fighting, you're gonna get tired, so you need to be in shape. And how are you gonna get in shape? You need to do some hard rounds. And everybody in the gym still takes care of each other. We don't try to knock each other out. This isn't the old, I suppose, glory days of MMA when sparring was just a fight all the time. So we take care of each other, but it's definitely physically challenging sometimes. Him and Banks, they really try to push everybody, and I try to push myself as much as I can. And it's nice to have somebody that's been there, done that, to be like, no, you got to keep going. Even if they don't say it, you have to keep going because he's gonna keep going.
You got to keep up or you're going to get left behind.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think I see it mostly when I watch you in the cage and just how calm and poised you are and how you keep the distance just like Cory does. So I'm sure a lot of that also, those rounds, you keep that in the back of your mind and it translates to your fights and you're getting finishes. I mean, this guy was tough as nails and he kept fighting back until the lights got turned off. And I've seen you take people to the ground. I've seen you stand up with fighters. I mean, I want to go back in time to when you met Cory, when you were 14 years old and you first got into the sport. Where were you? Who were you back then? And kind of just take me through the evolution that you've seen in yourself.
Yeah, I went there for jiu-jitsu. I started jiu-jitsu when I was 7. So I was at a different gym. And I did that for self-defense because I was real small. I was a real small kid. And I didn't have to cut weight, so that came to bite me in the ass. Now I gotta cut weight. But that's fine. That's part of the sport. When I did meet Cory, I already had a couple years of jiu-jitsu, and I went to that gym only for jiu-jitsu. I had no interest in fighting at all. I would fight in school all the time, which was fun, but I didn't want to make a career out of it. And then when I met him, I would take sometimes his kickboxing classes here and there. He would come roll, and I would try to. I didn't really know who he was. He was just Coach Cory, so I would just try to kick his ass when we rolled, and he wouldn't. It wouldn't go well. I'm 14, but yeah. And then we just kept. We kept going from there. I didn't go to state for wrestling my senior year of high school, and then I kind of was like, screw grappling. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do striking. I want to do something else. So I started doing more of his classes and more striking and all that. And then he would kind of help me out. And he started helping me a little more and a little more and a little more. And he got me my first smoker in 2019, which I did. And I gassed out in 2 minutes, bro. I was like, damn, I remember I threw everything at him for a solid minute. And then I look at the clock and I was like, damn, I still got another minute to go, And yeah, we finished that. And I was like, man, I need to get a lot better. So then he just started working with me one-on-one after that. He'd ask if I wanted to come in and train. And I had my first MMA sparring with him and Justin Wetzel, and they just whipped my ass the whole time. Yeah, I never dropped the body so much.
Shout out Wetzel.
I came back the next day. Yeah, Wetzel's a dog, man. I love that guy. But I kept coming back, and he just kept showing me stuff, and now we're here. I'm gonna ride that train with him till the wheels fall off.
So you've always been a competitor. That's what I'm hearing. You were a competitor, and that's what he saw.
Yeah, I hate losing. I'm having to come to a point where it's okay if I'm at Top Golf with someone and I can't hit the ball very well because I used to crash out. I'd be like, I never want to golf ever again. Cory's helped me actually be like, it's okay to not be super good at some stuff. That's fine. I hate losing, man. I hate it. I do not like it.
I get that. And everything. I was upset when I lost an eating contest. So I get that.
Yeah, I'd be mad too.
Yeah, come on. But at the end of the day, in a sport like this, you got to compete because every day is a competition. It's not just every round and every minute. Every day is. And you haven't done a lot of losing. Let's look back to your amateur career. You haven't lost yet. It's been win after win after win. You haven't even gone to a decision since your amateur debut. Talk to me a little bit about your start because you were getting the decision, then some submissions, then you got some knockouts, and then out of nowhere, it's been 4 years almost, a little more, and now you're main card on an LFA pro fight. Talk to me a little bit about the journey that way.
Yeah, it's certainly been a journey. I was always told I don't hit hard, so I'm a big believer, and if I can't do something, I'm gonna find a way to do it. I don't believe that you just gifted stuff. That's super stupid to me. You can't just tell me I can't do something. If you tell me I can't do it, I'm gonna go try to do it. So I've just been training hard. I mean, I've always feel like I've trained hard. Naturally, everybody says they could train harder. I feel like I could train harder, but I feel like I do train hard. And the my first MMA fight was really interesting because I got him in a standing guillotine in like 30 seconds. And then he passed out and like tapped, and then I let go and he was falling. I tried to knee him to the body. I kneed him in the head, which is illegal as an amateur. So then they broke us up, and then the fight was people were confused if the fight was over or not, and then we ended up having to keep fighting. So then that was my only decision. We ended up going to decision after that. But the other ones, I don't really look for anything in particular. I'm just like, I'm gonna kick this guy's ass, and if I submit him or if I knock him out or if it's body shot, I don't really care. I want to perform. I'm a performer, and however means necessary to not go to decision because I don't trust judges, I'm gonna do that.
And you certainly can't trust the judges these days. And I love that you said that because I think not enough fighters are willing to just go for it.
Yeah.
And you got to trust yourself. You can't trust nobody else but yourself. So I personally know I really appreciate it. I think a lot of fans do. And when they watch your style, I mean, it's clear that that's not just how you talk, that's how you act. And it comes down from the second that the door closes and the bell rings and the fight starts. So my question to you is, what gave you that mentality? At what point in your life did you know that you had that dog in you?
I think it's still something I'm figuring out every day. It's like I've always been competitive, and there's times where I go into fights and I'm scared. I've been in the back with Cory before the fight and been like, Cory, I'm scared. And he kind of like, it's like, all right, do this, do these techniques, grounding, whatever. But you just have to prove it to yourself. Everybody from the outside could say like, oh, they got the dog and whatever. And like, I could say that I do, but there's still going to be times where you don't know. There's still going to be times where you're scared. Like I said before, we're all human, but you just have to, it sounds super cliche, but you just have to go be brave and just put on a poker face. And if you want to be stoic, then be stoic. Don't let them see anything. It don't matter how scared you are. It doesn't matter how confident you are. Like you need to fight and you need to train the same every single time. There's rounds in the gym I'll have that I'm like, damn, I'm scared of going with this guy right now, but they can't tell. And I think that translates into fighting. Like if you get hurt, if you get hit to the body, if you take a hard shot, and you've in your life outside of fighting been like, this makes me uncomfortable, I'm going to do that anyways. Whether that's, I mean, it could be, talking to people. If you're an introvert and you don't like talking to people, well, just go do it. Just do it a bunch of times. And then like it gets easier. You might still be scared. You might still be scared of rejection or whatever, but it gets easier. And then when you do inevitably lose or you do inevitably get rejected or whatever, like you can take that because you've lived your whole life a certain way that it doesn't really matter at that point,
Very nice. And I mean, that's really just good. That's not even fighting advice. That's life advice, right? Like, where do you think you got your mentality from? Is this something that you've always had from a kid, or did you develop this through, your martial arts training?
I think martial arts certainly helped. I was very insecure when I was younger, about just a bunch of things because, you're a kid and kids you got to learn stuff. So I believe in throwing yourself to the wolves sometimes. And I think if you want a certain mentality, you just have to force it sometimes and like be okay with not performing at this level all the time. Maybe it's here and you're just like, that's what I had today. That's all I had. And I think over time, the 1% better every day or whatever people say, over time, you can just develop it. If you just force yourself in almost everything, you aim for progress and not perfection. If you're in perfection, I'm going down that rabbit hole, and I'm still kind of going down it sometimes. Like, you're just going to beat yourself up all the time, and then you're never going to get better. Like, just something small all the time, especially in training, especially in fighting. If you have bad takedown defense, like, work on your takedown defense. And if you get taken down a bunch of times, defend one takedown. If you defend one takedown, it's like, well, at least I'm working on this thing. And then, next thing you know, 6 months, a year later, nobody can take you down. Or maybe take you down twice. Like, that's progress. That's what we want, And
I know that in specific, takedown defense is something that you probably have worked on a ton at your camp. I know Cory's the master of getting up. So,
yeah.
we might have to keep that on the low that we're working on our takedown defense.
I'm working on everything all the time, man. People say you're working on takedown defense. That's fine. You think that I'm working on everything.
Everything at all times. Now, here's my question, though, because you're working on everything. You've been active, right? I mean, you fought a lot in the last 4 years. You've had 2 fights this year. What does 2026 look like for you? Or am I mistaken? Is there going to be another fight in 2025?
We're going to try to get another one this year. I want to have 3 fights. I don't like only fighting twice in a year. I feel like it's really inactive. But I'm going to try to fight in December and then get another finish. That'll put me at 4-0. Next year, if I can get 3 fights before the end of the year, I think I can get a call for Contender Series or, short notice to the UFC, either which I'm fine with. I'm the next thing out of Colorado. We have a lot of great fighters out of here. We got a lot of great training partners, a lot of great coaches, and my time's coming up, and I'm coming for people's heads.
And you're young, you're getting better every day, so I don't think you are underselling yourself in any way, shape, or form. Next one up definitely is what I saw this past weekend, and I can't wait for everybody to get to see more of what you got in the cage, because I think there's a lot more to see, especially if they look back on your amateur career. There's a lot more to see as a pro. But I have a couple last little questions for you, and then I'll get you out of here. But my first one, I want to take a little bit of a detour. You've got one tattoo, I see.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's Hebrew scripture or Hebrew in some way, shape, or form. What's your tattoo, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah. It says, it's the first line of the Shema, which is a prayer. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." It's funny because the way I look, people are like, "Are you Jewish? You Middle Eastern? Or what are you?" I'm Dominican. But the Bible was written in Aramaic. Closest translation to that is Hebrew. And my brother got the tattoo first. And before my whole family moved, my dad was like, "Hey, we should all go do something." I was like, "Let's all get a tattoo." So we all got the same tattoo. So me, my older brother, my younger brother, and my father, we all got the same tattoo.
Very nice. Is that your only tattoo?
It is. I need some more, man. I got some ideas. I want like a sleeve, but I'm like really picky about everything. So it needs to like look perfect. And I also want more money.
Yeah.
It's expensive because they are expensive. And it'll look nice, but if it looks nice and I can't afford to get gas in my car, I'd rather get gas in my car than get a tattoo. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have one. I just need to get, some more performance bonuses.
Absolutely. Everything good comes with time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I think the pressure cooker of what's next for you is coming up. Of course, the LFA is the best of the best when you're talking about really the Americas or Brazil in terms of competition. Do you have anybody that you're looking forward to competing in their ranks? Because I know they have a ton of prospects.
I don't, honestly. I haven't really paid too much attention. I've been in my own world, and Cory's just kind of like, "Hey, you got this name," and I'm like, "All right, cool."
Doesn't matter. When you train, do you train for an opponent, or are you more focused on yourself and just being the best version of you?
I'm focused on myself. I look at what opponents do and what they're good at, but I think, especially right now, I'm better than the majority of people or everybody that I'm gonna go up against anytime soon. So I'll focus on myself. If they got a really good right hand, I'll watch for the right hand. If they have good takedowns, I'll watch for that. But I'm also preparing for everything. I could go out against a striker and be like, he's going to strike with me the whole time, and then he comes and wrestles, and I didn't wrestle the whole camp. That's stupid, Work on everything, and then just whatever they like to do, whatever habits they have, whatever thing that they, again, like to do. I'm just keep that in mind. I'll train that in camp, figure out what I like to do to counter that. Or to just not let it happen, So just don't. If they got a good right hand, just don't let them throw their right hand at you.
And if the fight ends quick, it doesn't matter either way. You're out of there with your hand raised. So you don't get paid by the minute or by the second.
Don't get paid by the minute. No, I do like touching them up a little bit before the finish, though. Like I got a 30-second guillotine in one of my fights, and that was cool. But like we didn't really fight. And I'm like, well, I like fighting. I want to fight a little bit. So if it's at the end of the first down or whatever, I'll take it. Obviously, a win is a win, though. So if I start somebody in 10 seconds, I'm not going to be mad at that.
It's just you don't want to get right back in training camp after that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But got 2 more questions for you here. The first one, and I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyways. When you were early in your amateur career, you were at bantamweight. Your first professional career is a catchweight. You've been at featherweight. Are we staying at featherweight? Do we think there might be some movement? What do you think your future's looking like?
Right now, I'm gonna be at featherweight. I'm staying there. If I do want to make the move down to bantamweight, I need somebody to help me. Like I need a nutritionist, and I'd have to see if I can even do that. I feel really, really good at featherweight though. Like I feel strong, I feel fast, I feel athletic, I feel explosive. So right now, I'm fine with making the stay at featherweight. But if the time comes and I can move down where it's looking good, or my body just changes, bodies changes, you get older, then I'll make the move down. That's not a problem.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously, there's a lot of intrigue at the featherweight division. I believe it was actually the division in Dana White Contender Series this year that had the most fights.
Yeah.
So you're definitely looking in the UFC to invest in that featherweight division. PFL, for that matter, also has a pretty strong featherweight division. So I know there's a lot coming down the line for you in your future. I think the last question, though, that I've got to ask you about, it's kind of just a fun one. Your guy, Cory,
Yeah.
after the fight, I know nobody was happy with it, but he put up a really good show for himself, right? He's going to be right back in that title picture. And the fight that people are talking about, the fight that he's talking about, and I believe his opponent also agrees, is Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
So I want to hear your insight and your take on what that potential future fight looks like.
Cory's gonna win that fight.
How does he do it? Quick?
I'm not gonna say too much, but I'm not gonna say too much, but we've definitely talked about that and talked about kind of what he would be doing, and he's just Sean's got really good fight IQ as well. I think he worries about things a little too much sometimes, and Cory's good at everything. Like he's really good at grappling, he's really good at wrestling, and he's really good at striking. And now he's really good at putting everything all together. If you watch, the Song fight or Cheeto fight or Font fight, even though he tore his tricep in that fight, like he can put everything together, and he's got a brilliant fight IQ. I know me saying this, being his close friend, is like this guy's obviously biased, but unbiased opinion, Cory wins that fight. That's just what's gonna happen, So it would be a great fight for the fans. They should all tune in. Of course, everybody would tune into that anyways. But it would be a really good fight, and Cory would leave getting his hand raised.
Look, and obviously there's been talks about doing it sooner than the White House event, but 2 Americans on the White House event. I know everybody's talking about not enough Americans on the card. Well, there's 2 that will really bring a lot of eyes and a fun fight. I personally would be very intrigued to see that fight because I think you've seen both of them develop over the last few years to the umpteenth. They both can go 5 rounds. They both can mix it up a little bit. So I think it'd be really fun, really intriguing. I look forward to seeing it because it sounds like that's what's going to happen. And I'm sure there'll be some training camp footage so the fans will start getting a little bit of an introduction to you if they haven't been already.
Yeah, there definitely is. Cory's probably going to do some vlogs again. I'm going to be the one filming those. So,
well, we'll have to make sure that he puts you in the credits at the end or something.
yeah, definitely. I'll make sure to put myself in the credits.
Oh, you do the editing too?
I do everything, man. Yeah.
Man of many talents. I mean, it's not easy to do the filming and the editing and the marketing too. That's a big role right there.
Yeah. It's fun though. I enjoy it, and we spend a lot of time together and crack a lot of jokes. So the vlogs are really entertaining too. Anybody that's watching, go watch Cory's stupid vlogs on YouTube.
Absolutely. And it's always good work. I mean, all the content that he's been putting up recently has been just hysterical and incredible.
Yeah.
So I know all of you guys are doing great work up there in Colorado, training at Elevation. I got one last question for you, and then we'll get out of here. What's your message to the fans? What's your message to the rest of the featherweight division?
Yeah, message is pretty simple. My time's coming up. I'm the next one out of Colorado. I'm the next one out of Denver. I got a great team behind me, and I'm just excited for everybody to see how good I know I am.
Absolutely. Well, if you'd like to take this time to shout anybody out or say anything to the fans, let them know where they can follow you. Now's the perfect time.
Yeah, shout out everybody that, was supporting me, has been supporting me. You guys know who you are. Shout out my sponsors, Carniceria Compare, OBD, Auto Repair, and my boy Nathan McKinnon, who's just nasty at hockey. Oh my gosh, go watch that guy. But everybody in my life that's just been helping me, my family, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, love you guys. And we're building something great, and we're gonna get to that next level. So So just stay along for the ride.
Absolutely. Well, another great episode here in the books, folks, with Elias Rodriguez, 3-0 featherweight LFA prospect, gonna make his name very, very soon. You will be watching out for him on all the prospect lists soon. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like. And until next time, we'll see you later.